Today, independent Taiwanese creators are building lucrative businesses on their own terms. By moving their audiences to specialized tools like Vocus, Substack, and WordPress, they are driving direct revenue without asking a central platform for permission. In the 2000s, the landscape was the opposite. Almost everyone in Taiwan lived on a single hub called Wretch. People poured hours into writing posts and uploading photos on these bulky desktop computers, unaware that they didn't actually own a single pixel of their digital real estate. Then, in 2013, Yahoo pulled the plug. Wretch was simply switched off, and years of carefully built communities, memories, and audience connections vanished overnight. A decade of content was gone. Thousands of creators were suddenly homeless, discovering that their digital mansions had been built entirely on rented land. This displacement sparked a search for digital ownership that would last the next 10 years. Displaced writers needed a new home immediately. To ensure their writing would still find an audience, massive waves of creators moved their archives to Pixnet and Google's Blogger. Pixnet became the default for food and travel writers because of its domain authority. If you published a restaurant review there, it was almost guaranteed to rank at the top of search results, funneling readers to the page with zero extra marketing effort. But behavior was shifting. Readers were trading desktop monitors for the screens in their pockets, spending hours scrolling through articles on their smartphones. To monetize this mobile traffic, Pixnet smothered the reading experience. Paragraphs were broken up by overlapping banner ads, and aggressive pop-ups made finishing a single article nearly impossible. Creators provided the substance that brought users to the site, yet the platform took the overwhelming majority of the advertising profit. In many cases, a creator's hard work translated into just a few hundred NTD in revenue share. The math had reached a breaking point. With the platform extracting nearly all the value while ruining the reader's experience, writers began packing their bags for a second migration. Seeking an escape from the ad clutter, many Taiwanese intellectuals and tech writers flocked to Medium. It offered a pristine, minimalist environment designed specifically for long-form text, completely free of banners. This flowchart shows how Medium paid writers. Writers paid a flat subscription, and an algorithm calculated author payouts based on reading time. But for Taiwanese creators, the money stopped. The algorithm favored English markets, leaving traditional Chinese content impossible to monetize. Writers gained the prestige of a beautiful layout, but were left with empty pockets. They had essentially traded one rented room for a prettier one, while remaining entirely dependent on a foreign company's internal math. A distraction-free interface could not hide the structural problem. If the platform controlled the payment rails and the algorithm, the creator remained a tenant with no real power over their own income. As trust in centralized giants eroded, the market began to fragment. Creators stopped looking for a single host and sought specialized tools to run a writing business. Vocus emerged as the homegrown alternative, adopting a clean aesthetic while removing forced ads, focusing its entire business model on local monetization for the Taiwanese market. Instead of relying on algorithms, Vocus offered direct financial tools. Writers could set up subscriptions, they could accept direct tips, or sell one-off digital bundles. Platforms like Substack shifted the focus to the email newsletter. By collecting reader emails, creators finally owned their distribution list, ensuring they could reach their audience even if the platform disappeared. For those still haunted by the sudden loss of Wretch, a platform called Matters offered a solution built on Web3 technology. This animation illustrates how Matters uses the interplanetary file system. When a writer publishes, the article is splintered into fragments and stored across a decentralized network. No single company controls the file, making it virtually impossible to delete or censor. Writers no longer needed to find one perfect home. They began assembling toolkits that guaranteed two things. They would be paid for their work, and their data would belong to them permanently. For high-traffic Taiwanese bloggers, the migration often ends at the gold standard of independence, a self-hosted WordPress site. Digital sovereignty means owning the domain name and controlling the servers. The creator decides exactly what the site looks like and keeps 100% of the profits from their own ads and sponsorships. This hub-and-spoke setup defines the modern professional creator. They act as their own central office, using WordPress to capture search traffic, Substack for direct inbox delivery, and Vocus to manage their community. This diversification serves as an insurance policy. Because their business is spread across owned and specialized channels, the failure of any single tech company can never again wipe out their entire livelihood. The decade-long migration is complete. Taiwanese writers have moved from being vulnerable digital tenants to becoming sovereign digital landlords, permanently changing the economics of the written word.